Middlesbrough, Simon, this morning, just as we were coming on air, have sacked Chris Wilder, terminated his contract with immediate effect. 21 points from the last 20 games, so it would appear it's been coming. Wilder gone, what's your take on that? Steve Gibson hasn't hung around.
You reap what you sow. You know, I don't think he behaved himself in the greatest of fashion at Sheffield United when the dial got turned up and he didn't always get what he wanted. He's a capable manager. He did a brilliant job for Sheffield United. Took him through the divisions, got into the Premier League, and for whatever reason, lost his way a little bit. Going to Middlesbrough, Steve Gibson is a good chairman to work for, but there's a lot of managers that work for him, and he wants Middlesbrough to be doing far better than that output. And if you're in a situation where you've played 20 games and you've got 21 points, you are in jeopardy from a chairman that doesn't have the propensity just to fire people willy-nilly, but wants a football club operating at the higher end of the division. And if Brucey doesn't buck his ideas up, he'll be in the same space as well. Because West Bromwich Albion being fourth and bottom of the league wasn't on the memo that he got when he got the job. So, you know, whilst it might seem harsh and brutal and lose their job with immediate effect, they'll have a contract. They'll get paid out their contract and they'll move on somewhere else. But there's been a lot of indexing, which I haven't liked, of Chris Wilder to other jobs, left, right and centre. And that indexing will have come, whether it's media association, but it'll come from people in and around him. And unless you're going to be really good at what you do, when you index yourself to every bigger job, sometimes the people that you work for, eventually, their tolerance will get shorter and shorter. And when you become on hard times, they won't be as forgiving.
At one stage, you were a Middlesbrough player, Mr. Souness, weren't you?
Yeah, great memories. I had 4 and a bit years there, and it was where I did a lot of growing up.
Essen Park.
Yeah, we were a good team under Jack Charlton, then latterly under John. What's his name? John.
I know
Welsh guy.
I know who you're thinking of.
It came from.
Were you there at the time of like Tony Mowbray?
No. I'm a wee bit older than them.
But older than them, yeah.
But
yeah.
We were a really good team.
Yeah,
really good team, and nobody liked going there. We were aggressive a lot. You know, we got it forward to John Hickson and David Mills. Played a simple brand of football under Jack, but we were very difficult to play against.
Yeah. Well, Rob
great
Edwards.
Memories. It's a, you know, people used to say, "Oh, how did you manage living in Middlesbrough?" I loved it. I really did. I was sort of 19 and
John Neal.
24. John Neal, and
yeah,
I just loved it. I loved the people.
Passionate
I loved
place.
it. I loved the people, and. Happy days for me. Only
Sure.
good memories from there.
Well, Rob Edwards, sacked by Watford, said to be a contender, due to be interviewed, we hear. Another strong contender, apparently, Simon Gary O'Neill, who's down at Bournemouth at the moment.
I just walk me through that. How does Rob Edwards become a contender when he's been booted out of a job at Watford because they don't think he's doing a particularly good job there? He did a decent job at Forest Green Rovers and showed not any great particular brand of loyalty, left them at the first opportunity for a bigger job. So it beggars belief. Why would he be in for the Middlesbrough job?
Well, this is what happens in football, though, isn't it? I mean, you know, the seat's barely warm, you know, and then somebody else has got it.
He hasn't done anything to warrant being indexed to Middlesbrough, besides getting the sack from one of their rivals in the division.
Has Gary O'Neill done enough, do you think, to warrant an
We
interview
normally
to
talk about
warrant being
Bournemouth
one
in
of
the
the
last.
favourites?
Jim, we normally talk
Middlesbrough.
about.
Yeah,
Jim,
possibly.
You know, the show's just started.
Yeah.
He normally gets on his high horse in the last bit of the programme about Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And, you know, why.
It's not high horse, it's counselling you to think properly.
Why my mate should have been sacked at Bournemouth. We've gone early.
Oh, I know. He's gone in there early, and listen, nothing surprises us.
Well, let me ask you then. Do you think Rob Edwards being indexed, being sacked? There you go. So we're in the same place as me.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. There's a season ticket holder, Stu in Teesside. I'm a Borough season ticket holder. Just want to say, regardless of how well we're doing this season, I'm so fed up with how we perform season after season. I genuinely don't mind Wilder being in charge. It's just that we're unfashionable, mid-table at best, championship club. Whoever comes in won't do anything different. We'll survive, but we don't suppose there'll be much more than that. Survival. It's got to be more than survival, hasn't it?
Better than that. I mean, the aim should be to be back in the Premier League. They have been there, and they've managed to stay there for a number of years. That has to be the aim of every team in that league.
Gibson isn't sacking managers because he wants to stay in the division.
He's been a great chairman.
Totally.
I think if you work for him, you've been a lucky man.
And he doesn't muck about, Steve, because he's very, very, very direct. But they're third from bottom in the league.
He ploughs a lot of personal wealth in.
He does indeed. And he's a huge fan of the football club. He's been there for 25 years.
I mean, judging from what that fan is saying, though, Simon, can he take them any further, do you think? That's basically what that Middlesbrough fan is asking. We're used to survival and survival only.
Well, but that's not true, is it? Because Middlesbrough have been in the Premier League quite a few times in the last 20 years. The fact is that they're adrift at this moment in time, and Steve is going through managers. He's gone through Neil Warnock and other managers that he's had there, and he's trying to find a formula to recalibrate Middlesbrough. But irrespective of how much investment he is or isn't putting in at this moment in time, which will still be probably significant, there's no parallel. They were tipped. And, people don't tip for no reason. I'm not always saying that the bookies are right and the journos are right, but no one tipped Middlesbrough to be third from bottom of the league in the Championship. They were tipping Middlesbrough to be one of the promotion candidates. So when you're third from bottom in the league, something is wrong.
I think it just shows you, people talk about because it's such a popular sport. I think it's never been more popular football, but I think that screams out at me. Chris Wilder's a good manager at that level. Got Sheffield United into the Premier League, and it comes back to the way I was brought up and the people I learnt from. It's about players. He had good players at Sheffield United. The players he's got at Middlesbrough are not quite good enough. He'll be doing the same things in training, same tactics, same approach to games. Yeah, same basically just replicating what he did at Sheffield United, but the third bottom. Now, what if you're the chairman? If you're Steve Gibson, well, wait a minute, what's happening here? He's got a track record.
Yeah.
Players.
Yeah.
Players.
Well, Middlesbrough were one of the founding members of the Premier League in 1992, but they've now been relegated from the Premier League 4 times. That's the joint highest alongside Norwich, Palace and Sunderland.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.